Hello and welcome to the No Balls Podcast. I'm your host Patrick McDonald with me co-host Sheldon Kaufman. Today we're finally back doing an NBA recap. We've had stuff going on. We've got spring break, we've got moving into apartments, a lot of stuff going on. But we're finally back here to discuss really the past month of NBA basketball. I think it's been 2 weeks since our last episode. We got a ton of stuff going on. Just happening now, Bam Adebayo has scored 83 points while I was making the thumbnail and slideshow. So we're going to start with that. Sheldon, we'll actually do the hoops grid after Bam. We'll talk about Bam first. What do we have to say about this Bam Adebayo performance? Obviously, it is the second highest scoring game in league history. What do you think?
Probably the least likely player to break this record. I don't think anyone was really expecting it, but he got really hot. Um, he got really hot off the first quarter. 31 points in the first quarter, just kept going from there. Facing a very terrible Wizards team, especially defensively. I think Alex Sarr was playing though, so I was thinking like maybe there would be some resistance there, but that was just not the case as he popped off 83 points, 9 boards, shot 20 for 43. The big thing, Pat, was the free throws. He got 36 points off of free throws. So that really hurts. I was kind of talking to you before the podcast. The Wizards are triple teaming him, right? As soon as he's getting around to like 75, like he's getting creeping to that record. The Wizards are triple teaming him like off the inbound, trying to make sure he doesn't get the ball. Um, to kind of sum up the night, the one of the men in the triple team was Anthony Gill, and I think that kind of just sums it up. And if you're wondering how he did this, how Bam was able to do this, there's your answer right there. But triple teaming him, and he's still getting fouled, which I didn't really understand. So, just shout out to Bam for being able to do it. Being triple teamed, still creating fouls. Just had his way tonight. Absolutely on fire. Um, and yeah, it's so super impressive, Pat. I mean, 83 from a power forward. I think in today's league, especially the way the Bam plays, that's incredibly impressive. Sorry, because he only had seven threes.
Yeah, as far as like ethical high scoring games, this is sneakily kind of up there, I think, because you go back and you look at like the Devin Booker 70-point game, like that was almost 10 years ago now. That's forever ago. Like even the Celtics are kind of like giving him help in that 70-point game. Um, the Wizards were trying like very hard. Like it was almost like an ego thing. It got to a certain point where they were trying very hard not to let Bam score. Like you said, they were double and triple teaming him. Of course, the Heat were force feeding Bam. They even called a challenge towards the end of the game to try to get him two extra free throws when he like ran a Wizards player over. But yeah, that was quite ridiculous. What did you think about Miami doing the intentional fouling as well? Did you notice that?
I did notice that. I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, because to I mean, obviously like meant so much for the organization, and for them to kind of be behind his back just to foul to get him as many reps as possible. I think is a really cool thing to see. Also, I got a little worried there because it looked like Spoelstra was about to sub him out. Um, when he tied the record, I was like, "Come on, you can't do that to him." I was like, "Damn, if I was Bam, I'd be so mad." And he left him in there, and he let Bam make history tonight, and I think that's really impressive. Um, you know, yeah, like, and I do like the intentional foul thing. Like, you're up by 40 at this point. Why not? Or you're up by 30. Why not? Let your star player go for history, and that's what they did, and he was able to do it.
Yeah, not many times you're going to end up in a situation where somebody can score what is the televised NBA record of scoring games because we still have yet to receive the Wilt Chamberlain footage. I'm sure the game existed, but we've yet to see the footage. We are now going to move forward to the Immaculate Grid. Sheldon, you are up. As we can see here, the Miami Heat do exist on this grid. Go ahead, have at it. We got about 5-10 minutes. We'll give you 5 minutes here, starting now.
This is rough. These are a lot of teams Um, I'm not too familiar with, so we'll try to go with the only one teams. Um, for the Trailblazers, let me get my my favorite Trailblazer of all time, um, Brandon Roy. Oh wow,
Oh wow.
wow,
Oh yeah, I
off
completely
off to
forgot
a,
about the Timberwolves stint for
off
oh
to a rough start. Off to a rough start. Um, wow. Okay. For the Heat, we'll go Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero.
okay.
I shouldn't be wrong on this one.
Yeah, you're not. Um Brandon Roy, well known MVP as well.
21.
That is a
Yeah.
joke of the podcast. That
Yeah. uh, broke my mind when I figured that out. Okay. Let's see, Myers Leonard played for the Heat 1 year. Uh, let's see, Kings. Kings. Malik Monk?
for only one team.
No. No, no, no. I don't know. No, 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 no. We're not. Don't type that one in. Um. Wow. This is really rough. Let's see. Kings, Timberwolves. I feel like there might be. This is rough, Pat. This
I
is
do
rough.
know a Kings Timberwolf.
Kings, Timberwolves.
This is kind of a weird board.
Yeah, I'm not living up to the podcast name right now.
Yeah, it's a
Um.
rough one. This
All
one
right. Well,
cannot go
maybe
up as a riddle.
we'll try the only one teams again. Um. We'll go Scoot Henderson for the Timber or for the Trailblazers.
Makes sense.
30.
39. Darn.
Oh man, I was thinking maybe people had forgotten about him by now. For the Kings, I could go rookies here, and then like maybe people wouldn't know about him.
It's a
Um,
solid bet.
cause it might be a little cheap though, so I'm trying to think back, but um, I feel like Ish Smith has to be for one of these combinations.
It's got to be one of the squares, right?
For one of the squares. Um, I'm not too familiar with like I just these teams are very random to me. Like I'm not too up on their histories. Um, man, this is gonna be a bad look. For the Kings, let's go. We'll go Devin Carter. Devin Carter for the Kings.
Oh, that is pretty good. I like that. 7%. All right.
7%. All right, we got under 10. All right, now that the
All
easy ones are out the way.
all right, I can help you with the hint a little bit. You have said two players um that fit two category or you have said two players that you didn't guess that do fit categories here, I'm pretty sure.
Hmm. One of them's definitely Ish Smith.
Neither of them were Ish Smith.
No. Um. Damn. Now I gotta remember who I said. Um. Ooh. Myers Leonard. This is bad. This is a rough look. Oh, Malik Monk. Um. Maybe.
Okay, never mind. Only one of them.
Ooh.
Unless, yeah, Heat and Blazers don't intersect. Okay.
This is really bad. Um, I can't. I can. I'm kind of drawing blanks here. I'll ask for help. I'll do my phone friend for the Kings Timberwolves.
Okay. I will go ahead and get it. This will be Dario Saric. 1%.
Wow.
New king. That's why it's such a rare one. And then
Um,
the one of the players I was referring to, you've actually already guessed.
I've already guessed.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Your
Oh,
MVP. Yeah.
I know. I was just about to say it, Brandon Roy, because yeah, Brandon Roy.
Do you know which of the two squares it is? Yeah.
Timberwolves, Trailblazers. Maybe that one would be crazy. How
Darn.
much?
36.
Wow. um. Okay. Where are we on time, Pat? Is this almost over?
Um. Oh
Do
yeah,
I
you
still?
definitely went over. We'll
Okay.
try to wrap it up quick.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's not going to be very quick. I'm at a loss here. This is a rough bracket for me.
Okay, let's see. This could be Rodney Hood right here.
Yeah.
Jazz. This could be Rodney Hood. Dang, 20. Jeez. A king and a jazz. I don't think Ricky Rubio ever ended up as a king or a heat. Um, Darn, this is
Oh.
actually.
Oh, never mind.
Wait, what was the idea?
I was gonna say Davion Mitchell for Heat Kings, but that's not a thing.
Darn. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You said Myers Leonard earlier, and I made up him playing in Minnesota.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, no, he didn't play
Did
in
he ever?
Minnesota. He played in Milwaukee at the end of his
Yeah, he
career.
played for the Trailblazers and the Heat, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Utah Jazz and Miami Heat. Um, just made up Karl Malone playing with you or with Miami.
what about Chris? Did Chris Dunn ever or Chris Nunn? Kendrick Nunn? You ever play
Oh,
on the
Kendrick,
Jazz?
he did get traded to the Jazz. I don't know if he ever played a game for them.
Throw it
Let's
on there.
let's let's give it a shot, right?
Oh,
And then we this one's so shot. Let's just go ahead and get a guess out there. There's definitely like a very obvious Heat Timberwolf, right? Oh, Jimmy Butler.
oh yeah.
Let's put Jimmy Butler.
Damn.
All right.
Wait.
Oh,
Go to show summary. No, and then just do the bottom blue. No. The other one. Yeah. And scroll down. Keep scrolling.
okay.
Keep scrolling. Yeah.
Kevin Love.
Oh man. Wait. I wanted to see the common. Rudy Gay. I didn't know he played for the Jazz.
Yeah, accidentally. Oh, Kyle Anderson. Alec Burks.
Mm.
Go. Jake Crowder. Simone Fontecchio. Active player. Huh.
Fonton Chekio played for the Jazz.
Yep, Kelly Olynyk. Okay, yeah, there were
Damn, I
some.
was really thinking him, but I didn't say anything because I thought he was just on the Pistons.
Hassan Whiteside. Omar Yurtseven. Do you remember Omar Yurtseven? Do you remember Omar Yurtseven? What a name. All right, we're going to. I'll probably have to trim that one down a little bit, but we'll be all right, and we'll move forward now. Uh, We can talk about the Hornets. I put them on here. They've recently been extremely hot. I think since January 1st, they're top of the league in that rating. At least number one in offense since the turn of the calendar. I believe they're fifth in defense since the turn of the calendar. Their starting lineup of LaMelo Ball, Concanipple, Brennan Miller, Musa, and Bridges is like it might have changed, but at one point it got up to 20-2. I want to give ourselves credit here because we kind of called this at the very start of the year where we were like, the Hornets are actually pretty good. For the right, we did like the elevator pitch episode, and we said that they are a good regular season team for the rest of the way, and that is exactly what they are. So we can now talk about the Hornets. Has your opinion of them increased beyond being just a good regular season team for the rest of the way?
Um, I think this is a team that can make some noise in the play-in. You're looking at the standings right now, and you have a Hawks team that it's a good team. One last seven, they've won seven straight, 8 out of their last 10. Yeah, 8 out of their last 10. But this is a Hornets team that can beat them for sure, and we've seen it a couple times this season. I'm assuming I don't have the games right in front of me, but um, they're only 2 games out of that Hawks spot that for that 9 seed, only 3 games out of the 8 seed. So you're gonna have some tough competition in there. You have the 76ers with Maxey, Edgecombe, and Embiid. And when Embiid's playing on the floor, the 76ers are a totally different team and look really damn good. We have um, the Heat in that 7 spot, and that's gonna be a tough one. Tyler Hero. We just talked about how good Bam has been doing. They have a lot of good role players around him, like Jaime Jaquez. So it's going to be tough for the Hornets, but this is a team that can do it. You got Lamelo Ball, you have a great rookie in Con Canepo, and then you have Brandon Miller too. Those guys are averaging 20, 19, and 19 respectively. Miles Bridges also doing his thing, and adding Kobe White has looked really good for this team. And this is a guy that they didn't have when we talked about them previously, but that's a real threat. Starter in Chicago turned coming off the bench in Charlotte, and he's great as a second unit. I mean, that's a killer to have on your second unit leading you. So I think that along with you're getting like some pretty good role shooting around you. You have Grant Williams who's able to knock down a couple shots. He's shooting 39% from the 3-point line this year, and then you have Musa Diabate, who's so good at holding it down at that 5 spot. So I think this is a team that can make some noise in the play-in. Obviously, it's gonna be really hard to beat the Pistons, Celtics, or Knicks. So I don't really see a surprising upset there, but I do see a couple games. Maybe they can make it a 6-game series at most against one of those teams and provide some exciting moments.
Yeah, as it currently stands, they're pretty much locked into the play-in. Like you said, they're currently the 10 seed. It's very possible for them to get up to, I believe they're 2.5 out of the 8 seed. It's going to be pretty hard for them to catch Miami, but uh, things are looking pretty good in Charlotte. I think the key with them is they just have so much, they have 3 guys with LaMelo, Concanipple, and Brandon Miller who can handle the ball, pass the ball, and shoot the ball, and that really juices their offense. We kind of talked about it going into the season where we were like, this is a team that probably is going to have a really good offense uh, if everything goes correctly, centered around a heavy 3-point shooting attack, like we see with the Boston Celtics, been carried over by Charles Lee, who previously came from Boston, and it looks very similar stylistically. A lot of ghost screens with Knipple running around. They're a very fun team, and I think outside of uh, like the top 4 teams in the East, I don't know if anybody really wants to face this Hornets team because they are scorching defensively. I'm not super sold that they're a good defense. Yeah, they've had a very good defense throughout this stretch that they have. But I'm not really sure that they're a good defense. Do you hold similar sentiments on their defense?
Yeah, we'll have to see how it continues to play. I mean, obviously during that stretch it was really hot, but it is a Hornets team that even this year has been bad defensively, and definitely not one of the more like they're not going to beat you with their defense. They're going to beat you by outscoring you. We'll see if they're able to kind of like get that under control as you head into the playoffs where defense and physicality is so important. Um, so I would say right now I kind of have the same thoughts as you. That's why I'm kind of saying like I don't really see. I think they can make some noise in the play-in for sure. I don't really see a crazy upset happening though.
Yeah, as they currently stand, they're fourth in offense. Just on the season, they're fourth in offense. They're middle of the pack defensively. Their net rating is 11th in the NBA. This is sneakily one of the best teams in the NBA, and it's been very much masked by the terrible start to the season that they had. And yeah, nobody wants to face this Hornets team at all throughout the playoffs. I think if they get out of the 9-10 playing series, like standings wise going into the play, and if they can get out of that, then they actually have a decent shot of winning a playoff game. It's just they're probably going to really like they could drop in the play-in. Um, Let me rephrase that. They could very well lose in the play-in and not even make the playoffs, but I think they will be the best out of all of the play-in teams come to a playoff series type of setting. So I'm excited for Charlotte. Things are going well. We did the episode maybe 4 months ago talking about like fixing the doomed teams, and two of them have turned around heavily since then, and the other one currently has the worst record in the NBA. So awesome. Those things have happened. We're going to move forward now, and we're talking about the best coaches in the NBA. We have the two GOATs here, uh, Steve Kerr and Doc Rivers. Um, we're gonna just basically do this as a discussion type of thing, very much open. Sheldon, why do you believe Doc Rivers is the best coach in the NBA?
I would say definitely his ability to rally guys up during timeouts. If they're down, he's able to bring the team together and really get them motivated for runs. And even when they're up, he motivates them to not lose sight of things and just keep going at it. And he's very good at drawing up defensive plays for last second shots. If the team has a last second shot, chances are with Doc Rivers that ball's not going in.
I was like, dang, this is some very serious Doc Rivers analysis, and then very good chance that ball's not going in. Awesome. He's very good at coaching bad NBA players, making sure they live up to their talent level. Um, the work he's done with Kyle Kuzma to make sure he lives up to his Wizards form in Milwaukee has been awesome. Uh, Very awesome. His biggest fan in the world is Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder has been very open in speaking on how great Doc Rivers has been for the organization of Milwaukee. Nothing much more to say about Doc Rivers. What a guy, Doc Rivers. Now, let's move on to the bad coaches. Who do you think is the worst coach in the NBA? Let's start with Joe Mazzulla, who's my nominee here. Uh, do
Yeah, are
you,
you
we're kind of just throwing names in the hat here, so we'll
gonna
end the
okay?
bit here. We're discussing
Okay.
the best. We're now discussing the best coaches. Joe Mazzulla is my nominee. Um, Do you have any other nominees that you feel strongly about?
Uh, I mean, you can go Mark Dagnott, right? Is that how you say it for the
Tag
Thunder?
now.
Dagnott. Um, I think Missoula would probably be my one. I think Dagnott would maybe be in contention for like my two. Um, Mitch Johnson has been doing a really good job this year. JB Bickerstaff has been doing a really good job this year. Um, Rick Carlisle, as you know, he may not have a very good team right now, but he is one of the great coaches in the NBA, and I think we saw that last year with the Pacers. But I would say right now, probably Dagnaut or Bickerstaff.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about Missoula because so many people like are the discourse that's talked around. I think I texted you this that I hate the discourse
Yeah,
around this Celtics team because everybody looks at Jaylen Brown and Jaylen Brown's had a great season. He's taken huge steps forward, shot making wise, I wouldn't say self creation wise. I think he's a little bit benefiting, and we'll talk about this in the later sections. He's benefiting from the way the game's officiated right now a little bit creation wise, but he's done very very good job like making shots. He's done better facilitating than he had in years past. But like the real awesome parts of this Celtics team are Joe Mazzulla's ability to best utilize all of the talent, create micro advantages. Ugo Gonzalez is I like towards the top in the entire NBA in just net rating on off swings. I think he's like a plus 17. That was maybe a week ago. I'll get the current number on that in a second. But Joe Mazzulla's done awesome. We talked about Tatum going down and how the Celtics are going to struggle and then they shouldn't, push forward all the way. Well, they kind of have the best coach in the NBA. And people will dumb it down to, oh, they shoot a ton of threes or they play boring basketball. But this guy, Mazzulla, has got it figured out, and we have so much more to talk about with him. So I'll go ahead and give you the floor for a second on him, and we'll keep this as an open discussion.
yeah. I mean, Pat, you pretty much said it. To have a superstar go out, um, and for you to make a lot of big trades, you had Porzingis on this team, that was making a lot of money and a big part of your offense when he was out there. To kind of flip that and have Anfree Simons and playing so good, where you're able to trade him for a Nikola Vucevic to just up your team. I think that the way he was able to steady the ship with these guys, he has Hugo Gonzalez looking amazing, like very good defensively and also offensively as well. He's able to, have Baylor Shireman go in there and put in consistent minutes for this team and be an elite shooter from the 3 point line. Um, and I think that it's incredible what he's been able to do with this team defensively, offensively, having guys on the floor. Um, I mean, he's just one of the best to do it right now for sure.
And like the Baylor Shireman call is a big part of that too, because he looked so like it looked so terrible his rookie season, and he's out there, and it's like I want to say that like all of the rookies are very much, and like not just the rookies, but the young players are clearly understanding things because Baylor Sharman's a very good offensive rebounder, certainly in the NBA. Wasn't a huge part of his game in college. And Jordan Walsh, 3 years into his NBA career, has gone from never playing to he was one of the best defenders in the league for a stretch. Now he's out the rotation. Luka Garza looked so cooked at the beginning of the year that I said all they have to do is just bring in somebody to fill minutes. And now Luka Garza's good and suddenly a great offensive rebounder and shot maker. Peyton Pritchard has like a 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio because he's able to get so many good opportunities to create shots for teammates in open passing windows, not tight passing windows, and his ability to handle the ball in tight scenarios is just awesome. And all of these things are maximized by Missoula putting guys in the right spots. And we have to mention the step forward that Neemias Queta has taken. He might be a top 10 playing center in the NBA. Like it's been that big of a step forward. He's going to get a huge payday on the open market. He's been so awesome for them. And none of this is even mentioning that they're I don't want to say their best player because he's not their best player, but their most important player, Derek White, who at the start of the year couldn't make shots. He does all of the little things right. You ask, what are the little things? Derek White does them. Watch Derek White on a night-to-night basis. He hits every rotation, tags low man as a guard, um,
One of the best
picks
shot
up
blockers in the NBA, and he's a 6'4", 6'6".
6'4" guard, uh, connective passes. Derek White does everything so awesome. I mean, I can't even like go back and sit here after the games. Like you have to watch Derek White and just see, oh my God, Derek White was there. He was also there. He does everything so awesome. And yeah, that's the basis on what I feel about this Celtics team. They're currently a +8 net rating. They're third in SRS. They actually do have a relatively weak schedule, but they're still third in SRS. Their offense is second in the league, and I believe better with Jaylen Brown on the bench as well. It's something that isn't very talked about. Um, yeah, even I mean, it's a minuscule change. It's slightly better with Jaylen Brown on the bench. Um, yeah. Anything else we want to have on Boston? I guess this kind of just turned into a Boston section. Um, Mitch Johnson, Mark Dagnall. Do we want to talk about them?
Yeah, we can do it real quick. I mean, obviously, Dagnout has one of the best teams in NBA history, second best, or not one of the. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this Thunder team is insane. You know, they're kind of like the consensus to win it all this year, preseason favorites. Won it all last year. Looked amazing. They have the MVP on their team. If he's eligible, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. They're the first defense, tied for seventh offense in the league. And honestly, Pat, this year this team has been missing a lot of, um, a lot of their star power. Jalen Williams, he's only played in 26 games this year. Hardenstein's only played in 35. Or wait, Jalen Williams only played in 26. Uh, Hardenstein's only played in 36 games. Um, and this team has still been able to only lose 15 games this year. Their standout second year player, Adonai Mitchell, only been able to play 44 games. He's been hurt a lot recently. And this team hasn't missed a beat at all. So, when you're missing key guys and you're still looking like the clear favorite, clear best team in the league, I think it's kind of hard to not be one of the best coaches. Defensively, offensively, he knows what to do to get Shea open and get Shea favorable matchups. Um, he's able to utilize Chet. Yeah, it's a great team, and they got a great person running it. So that's the Dagnall spiel.
What I see a lot with him and JB Bickerstaff is just the ability to get all the team on the same page with the intensity that they like to play. That's really awesome. We didn't even get to talk about the Joe Mazzulla like weirdness aspect of everything, but there's a lot on that side of things too. But just the ability to get the entire team to play a certain style with a like insane intensity, like smash mouth intensity, really shines with Dagnall and JB Biggerstaff. I think Dagnall's probably a little bit better, like you said, creating mismatches for Shea. That's kind of been the name of the game for them offensively for the past 4 years now. Really popularized like guards in the dunker spot. Ghost screens have been big for them in OKC. I really like what OKC does. Um, I was thinking we'd have a little bit more debate with this section, but we just both seemed really aligned that Joe Mazzulla, the sick man that he is the best coach in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to deny it, and if you just like watch any interview, I mean, it just shows that he's on a different level, like with eating, sleeping, and breathing basketball. Like that's truly something that he does. Um, and I mean, we've seen it. Like he runs one of the most unique offenses in the NBA with all the 3 pointers they take. But like you said, it's not just them shooting 3 pointers. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And just getting Tatum back, the team is just such a good boost for them, and so scary for the East, where a lot of teams thought it'd be more wide open with the Celtics getting their guy back. It's looking a little. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about Tatum coming back. I guess that could have been a headline. What have we thought about Tatum so far? And this can be
Yeah,
not even play related, just recovering in 8 months from an Achilles tear or 10 months.
yeah, yeah. Recovering in that short of time and looking like really good in your first game back, um, it's incredible. Something I really thought was really like shows how great of a player he is and how great of a team the Celtics are is he really didn't start scoring until that second half or late in the first half. Kind of was passing, getting a lot of rebounds, and then he started turning up. Uh, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he's shooting the ball well. He's able to get to his spots pretty well. I saw no issues with him like driving and jumping off the his feet for dunks. Well, maybe one when Jalen Brown tried to throw him a lob attempt in his first game back. Um, but I mean, he looks good. He looks bouncy. He's shooting the ball really well. Uh, it just adds. I mean, you're getting an MVP level player back, and you're gonna get him in the lineup enough to ramp him up for the playoffs. So I think we'll be getting obviously not 100% Jason Tatum. I mean, he's gonna give 100% effort, and I think that's better than a lot of players in this league. So um, yeah, and whoever that doctor is amazing, and I think that just it's gonna go. Hopefully, this leads to quicker recoveries from this injury in the future as well.
100%. I think I did think he was a little slower and less explosive than normal, but that's to be expected given the severity and the recency of the injury that he sustained. Um, Tatum is an awesome player, awesome guy. Um, the usage split between him and Jalen Brown is something to watch. I believe Tatum's actually had higher usage in the 2 games since being back. Something to monitor going forward. That does make sense, considering Tatum is generally going to be a better facilitator than Jalen Brown. Um, Jalen Brown, I guess while we're on the topic, has bad press ever been more of a non-factor with the Jalen Brown season that he's had and the Michael Porter Jr. season having a breakout year after having the most disastrous media run ever? Uh, like, just is bad press dead? Is that what we're getting at here?
Are you saying like does the bad press affect the player, or are they not getting like any bad press?
Is bad press just something we overrate? Because Jalen Brown's just hit the Scotty Barnes moment. He's been nonstop streaming all year on Twitch.
Yeah. Huh. Let me think about how to answer this one. Um. I mean, I think just in like today's age, like there's so much media and news that we consume on a daily basis that unless it's like something like outrageous, it's not gonna last for more than like a couple weeks. And like and that's a stretch if it's gonna last a couple weeks. Like MPJ, I think a lot of the stuff about him is still remembered. It's just not brought up as much frequently, or it's not brought up as much anymore. Like you'll hear it maybe once in a while, but nothing is posted about it anymore. And I think that's just because things get old a lot quicker than they usually would. Um, because like I don't even see any Jalen Brown streaming clips. And then when he was at the height of the streaming, I was seeing him every day. So I think it's just I guess I would say bad press is not a thing or really a factor anymore. Just because of how much media we consume and how much new content is being thrown in our faces, it's easy to forget about things unless it's something like really really shocking. And even some of the stuff MPJ has said is like stuff like definitely uh memory worthy. Like you're gonna remember it, and we've seen how that's faded away in a lot of people's minds.
That was a very profound take. I gotta respect it.
Thank
Um,
you.
PCA is tied up, or not tied up.
I
He's
know.
cut the lead to four.
Yeah, I just clicked to that. I just clicked after my spiel to the panel, and I see home run for PCA.
Let's go, dude. All
Well,
right.
2 out.
Yeah, going crazy. Terang off the bench. We'll talk about this rookie class briefly. Cooper Flag, Con Knipple, Dylan Harper, they're on the slide. Obviously, there's other notables. Um, almost a year later, I really do like how my opinions of this draft have aged early on. Obviously, everything's very early, but uh, yeah, how have these rookies evolved in your mind throughout this rookie season? We didn't do too much draft coverage during last summer, but I wrote up a big board, so I have it. We can even go and reference that briefly to see how things have aged less than a season in. So
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel like this class has matured very quickly. Um, Especially like the three guys here. These are guys. It's well, Dylan Harper's on like a very successful team right now. Cooper Flag's playing at an extremely high level where he looks like a veteran, right? He looks like a guy that's been scoring a lot in this league for a long time. Um, he's averaging 20 points per game and 6 rebounds in his first year in the league. And then you have Con Knipple, who's averaging 19 and 5 and 3. And Con Knipple is a sniper. You know what I mean? Um, like for him to come in and have like such an insanely good shooting season, and have the confidence. I think confidence and maturity was what I see with this class. Dylan Harper, not afraid at all when playing the Thunder and going and driving in. VJ Edgecombe, not afraid to shoot shots in the clutch and make them. Um, and I think another thing, Pat, is like this class isn't like top heavy. There's a lot of guys that got drafted like really late too that um I think are like legitimate like NBA players for a long time. Um, Two centers I'll throw out there that are kind of not the names that you probably are hearing about. Maxi Reynow, who I think has been really good this year, very underrated rookie. And Jan Niederhausen. I probably messed up the first name.
Yannick Honen,
Yannick
Niederhauser.
Niederhausen. I forget what Clippers game I was watching, but I mean, he was looking crazy, blocking shots, finishing at a high level, super great length, and really good rim protector. I think that like the Clippers trading Zubac, um, kind of shows how much confidence they have in him, and I think it's confidence that's well deserved. And I really think that he's can be a future NBA big, and be the guy that Jokic used to be with a little more verticality, or not Jokic, Zubac, sorry, um, not Jokic, but yeah,
Yeah,
I was really impressed by Niederhausen. And then of course you have Cedric Howard, who's playing really good on a Memphis team. Ace Bailey, who I think started off really really rough. He's turned it around and he's shown his ability to score. Uh, even the Pelicans guys, Pelicans kind of stink right now, and it really hurts that they gave up a first round pick unprotected for Derek Queen. Um, but Derek Queen's having a really good year, 12 points per game and 7 boards. Obviously, they probably could have waited and still got at him, but I mean, this class is just really deep, Pat, and I think confidence and maturity is something that I would say stands out to me.
yeah. Niederhauser unfortunately out for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, it was finally catching on. Let's
Trey
see the
Johnson
draft.
too. Shout
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Well, now to the point of the episode where we are to do the NBA free throw merchant power rankings, and this is going to be
Ooh.
compiled everywhere and be awesome engagement bait. Um, even rage bait, they might say. Yeah, so I'm quickly creating a new document. Uh, on docs, and we will go ahead and draft up this list. So nominating at the number one spot, I think is going to be our top priority here. As far as the biggest free throw merchants in the NBA, what are we considering here? Are we just considering the amount of points that they score at the free throw line? Are we considering the griftiness or the unethicalness of how they get their free throws? We're basically setting the criteria here first. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I think we should lean more towards unethicalness. I think there's obviously some guys that can't really help it, and like some guys that do quote unquote foul bait, but not to an egregious level. And then you have the guys that like are kind of driving, looking to get fouled, and then make a crazy shot after. So I feel like that's a good way to put it because I don't know, like someone like Denny Avdia, I don't know if I'd put him like high up, and I feel like he's definitely up there for free throws.
I was actually kind of thinking a little bit of the opposite on Denny Avdia. I would have him a little bit higher.
Oh,
Um,
already
Now,
some discrepancy.
how much of this is a reliance on free throws as well? Because I think that there is some indication that the player is only good because not only good, but they are very reliant on getting unethical free throw calls their way. Is that also an aspect of this?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Because obviously people complain about like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being a free throw merchant, but he is one of the best scorers in the league. I wouldn't necessarily say that definitely makes him the best free throw merchant in the league because there also has to be some reliantness on uh like as far as like the amount of his scoring that he does. It's not a great uh portion of his scoring, or if you cut that out he would be a bad scorer. So um let's go ahead and start. What are we nominating here at number one? We've obviously mentioned a couple names. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go. I think I'm going European here. I think I nominate. I'll throw two names up into the hat: Jokic and Doncic. Um, I would say Luka, maybe Luka Doncic.
Okay. Um, I do like those. I think Luka is probably the best in the NBA at the grifting aspect, where he manipulates the defenders. He obviously doesn't need the free throws to be an effective scorer, but it clearly does help his ability to get to the rim way more than other players versus like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can kind of demand attempts at the rim by himself versus Luka where he doesn't always get all the way to the rim. Uh, and sometimes he really does need to bait defenders using his tactics. Um, I like the Luka shout. I'm how hesitant are we with centers? Because a lot of centers will obviously be fouled a ton. Jokic is fourth in free throw attempts per game, so that is generally pretty high. But uh, about the NBA center will get 3 free throw attempts a game for just being a center. So I do like that. Jokic, maybe if this was the flop merchants, Jokic might be number one. Are we agreeing with that sentiment?
Yeah, yeah.
Or like the flopping demon power rankings? Um, can I say a name who I think is more masterful of and maybe the attempts per game? All right, he doesn't play a ton of minutes, so that's probably why the attempts per game are way down compared to normal. I think at least in his prime, Embiid was a lot better than Jokic at getting the free throw, um, like the unethical free throws, as people call them. And I think now that Embiid has regressed a little bit as a player, he is a lot more reliant on those things rather than normal. When I think when he was in his prime 2 years ago, he would almost force his way to the free throw line by being so big and skilled, versus now those are for the most part cut out a little bit more compared to normal, where now it is a lot larger percentage of them are grifted free throw attempts. So I'm going to throw Embiid out there as the biggest free throw merchant.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
good with that too because I was gonna have him pretty high up on the list too. So
all right. I kind of think that that's my 1, 2, and potentially 3 with Luka, Embiid, and Jokic. Um, I think Jokic is just very maybe he sells way more calls. Um, or like watching Jokic play a lot of the time, it's like he is hunting for fouls in certain spots. So I mean, that's kind of where we're going with this. So I kind of who are we feeling at one between those guys? And you can throw Shea into the mix there as well.
yeah, I guess I'll lean Embiid. I guess for free throw merchant over like foul merchant. I guess. I would go Embiid.
And I think the key difference with him is that it does make a significant impact with his game, um, compared to like Nikola Jokic, who like kind of doesn't he doesn't really need the free throw bonus. And for that exact reason, I think I clearly have Luka at number 2, because he does need it to get all the way to the rim, or to be able to put defenders at to make them way more alert to allow him to get all the way to the rim. So those are kind of my 1 and 2. Um, and I don't think you will have any quails with that.
No, I'm
Okay,
good.
I agree with this. Um, can we work on the dependent side of this? And I will throw out James Harden and Paolo Banchero.
Yeah. Um, for me, um, I'll throw out. We'll go Trey Young, Devin Booker. What do you
Oh,
think about those names? I don't know about how much
I
they shoot a lot of free throws a game. I don't know about
yeah,
they're probably not too dependent on that. The free
I
throws.
I would say Trey Young's a little bit. Now, Trey Young, like, I don't know how to wage it, because he was the like original free throw merchant, or like the foul bait poster child about 4 years ago, when it was way worse than it is now. Um, where since those rules have kind of been adjusted to outlaw a lot of the garbage that, like jumping back into defenders, hooking arms, um, since those things have kind of been cut a lot out of the game, Trey Young's scoring has like significantly jumped back. So I don't know. Like I do kind of agree that like at his peak he was very reliant on it, but like it's not even a part of the game anymore with Trey Young. Uh, so I don't know how to weigh that, because at his peak he was obviously clearly like very free throw dependent, because we've seen what's happened since that aspect of the game's been cut out. I don't know how to weigh this. Kind of chime in with what you think.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's just a guy that he's able to get a lot of fouls, able to shoot a lot of free throws. Um, he's like I feel like he's a guy that will have a bad game but have a lot of points because he's able to get to the line so much. That's why I was kind of saying Trey Young. I know he shoots a lot of free throws per game as well, so that's kind of the other thing I was kind of looking at. Why I threw his name in there. Um, yeah.
It's still 7 a game. I thought it was around like 5.5. True. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I do like Trey Young then. Still, yeah, it's 7.5 even. But yeah, like just to look back to 2020 and 2021, he was about 9 free throws a game, and like that was peak Trey Young right there because like it really took a lot of pressure off of his shot making because he could literally just appear at the line. Um, yeah, he's still very much up there for me. Harden, I think, is kind of the more damning answer for me because like
Yeah,
he hasn't been able to get to the rim for about 3 years now,
yeah. I would
and
definitely say Harden. Your two guys you mentioned, I would put over Trey Young
yeah,
for sure.
Harden like he one of his Cavs games since he's been with the Cavs, I think it was like um it was one of his first couple Cavs games where he was like he had like 15 points and had 3 free throw made in the game or 13 free throws made in the game. Like it was a ridiculous game. Like Harden hasn't really been able to get to the rim since he got to Philadelphia, and like he maintains efficiency by still getting to the line. I think his numbers are free throw wise are down. Yeah, they're way down in Cleveland. But he was about 7, 8 a game since going to the Clippers. Um, yeah, I would go with James Harden probably at number 3. Um, because yeah, does that feel right for you, or are we considering anybody else here?
Yeah, I mean you can argue Shea at three and then Harden. I do think that Harden should be going off the board pretty quickly though, pretty soon.
Yeah, he does. He was also like a poster child of the original
Yeah.
like complete garbage stuff where like he literally grabs defenders' arms and flails, but like that's not necessarily a thing anymore. I think one part to weigh with this next couple selections is like Shea Gilgeous-Alexander probably has, and like Nikola Jokic, they're a little more shameless with their foul drawing compared to Paolo Banchero.
Mm,
Uh, but
mm-hmm.
like Paolo Banchero, like he doesn't flop too much. Like he does, but for the most part, he's a big guy getting to the rim, kind of like what I said with big man earlier, where they're going to guarantee themselves 2.5, 3 free throw attempts. But Paolo Banchero has like the scoring dependence. If he wasn't somebody who gets to the line a ton, like he's like actually not good if he doesn't do that. Versus like Shea and Jokic are still good players if they have average free throw rates. So that's one part of it. You brought up Booker. Give me the argument for Booker.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Booker, it was just the same thing with Trey. Just kind of shot a lot of free throws per game. But I don't know. I might take his name out of that because he's not really a merchant. I think that he just genuinely gets fouled, and um, as a result, just ends up shooting a lot of free throws because he's definitely a guy that doesn't need them to score or really looks for them, for that matter. He just ends up getting fouled. And he's able to get to the rim pretty easily without help.
He's like kind of the the Dwayne Wade move merchant. Do you know exactly what I'm speaking of? Where like the pump fake and get the guy
Yeah,
in the
yeah, yeah.
and jump in. Devin Booker's kind of like the current poster child of that, I think. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the Booker's a little bit lower for me, but he's like constantly towards the top of the league and free throw attempts, and it's a large part of its usage. Um, but I kind of do agree that Booker needs
Yeah,
to be in
maybe it would
consideration.
not to go this early. I don't think he should go this early.
Yeah, I agree. Just looking number 20 in free throw attempts per game right now is Jeremy Grant.
Hmm.
It's pretty awesome. Um, should we speak about Bam Adebayo after his 36th free throw
Yeah.
game? I actually don't think he's on here.
Yeah. No. Maybe we start talking about some forwards like Denny or Lowry Markkinen.
Oh wow, Larry Markkinen. Think about him. Uh, he's like he's not even in the unless I'm missing something. I don't think he's even in the top
No.
50. Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
just doesn't
Maybe
get to
more
the
than.
rim too
Yeah.
frequently. Like he doesn't drive a ton, so he doesn't get a ton of free throws.
What about
Um,
would Randall be in consideration? I feel like.
Randall has even back as a Nick, he mastered the like uh, I don't know a better like Shea kind of does it a little bit where like he gathers the ball very low and then pulls his
Yeah.
arms into a defender's arm and then shoots the mid-range jump shot. He's kind of a master of that. But I would say a lot of Randalls are like physical, like
Okay.
get to the rim type of things, kind of like how Boncaro is, except
Yeah.
Randall's just like a better player.
Yeah.
Um, we have guards, Keontae George,
Yeah.
sneaky. It's kind of a new thing for him though, as he's
Reeves.
taken a scoring loop. Reeves would be on like the he actually might still be high in attempts. He's a little shameless. He has the shameless argument to him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think you get the shameless argument with guys like Jalen Brunson,
Yeah.
um, with Alperen Şengün kind of gets that a little bit. Yeah, those are kind of like the shameless argument guys, even though like Brunson and Şengün are like in the mid 20s in free throw attempts.
Yeah. Um.
Wembanyama, people talk about Wembanyama a little bit.
mm, I don't
Um,
know. I feel like Wemby is so good that he really doesn't need free throws.
yeah, he kind of really doesn't. Jaylen Brown. I want to talk about Jaylen Brown because I don't.
Oh.
It's not most of his free throws to me feel very earned, but I kind of alluded to it when we were talking about the Celtics. He like never gets by his defender. He always is driving with like a forearm on his defender and is like kind of just pushing them the whole way to the basket.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he would make a great running back, and I actually do think it has really helped him this year, like slow down and process the game better. And then it's also helped him as like a pull up shooter by just like going slower and progressively like just pushing his defender out the way. But um, I don't know. I feel like Jaylen Brown is like the way we would talk about him or like a Denny Avdia are like they are clearly benefiting from the way the game is called right now, even though I wouldn't say it's free throw merchant like they're not necessarily like going out of their way to generate the free throws. It's just like offensive players are allowed to like push defensive players right now in the current
Yeah.
state of the game, and those are the two guys who I think take advantage of it the best. Um, I kind of like at this next spot we can go ahead and get Shea out the way. Do you think the
Okay.
shamelessness outweighs the dependency from Paolo Boncaro?
For him at the shame was. Uh I don't know because he really relies on it. Um, I would say I would have him pretty high up, but I think I would have Shea above him. Maybe we look at him for 5 or something.
Yeah, we have him. Cade Cunningham. Do we? I don't. He flops a little bit in the paint, and it does help him because he's a terrible rim finisher. Um, it would kind of be in the Luca side of things, but I don't think it's as bad because he like the one thing I'll say about Cade is he doesn't complain too much about calls relative to
Hmm.
guys who get a ton of free throws.
Hmm.
Um, I would have a good bit of guys above Cade, but he's not completely null.
What about Denny?
Denny, um, uh, I think him and Paolo draw fouls in a very similar way,
Okay.
and Paolo I think is more dependent on it.
Yeah.
So I would have Paolo over Denny.
Does
So,
Anthony Davis come into your mind at all here?
um, not really.
Yeah.
Uh, we talked pretty long about Trey Young.
Yeah.
It's hard to weigh, but because like his dependency has been completely like forced out of the game. So like how I don't know how to say that. Like, would we rather a guy like Austin Reeves who's like clearly better at manipulating the current rules of the game?
Yeah. I would maybe because Trey Young, this just doesn't happen as much anymore, where he's seeking it out the way that he used to. So maybe we put Reeves above Trey Young. That makes sense.
Yeah, because this is current, right?
Yeah.
So we got Reeves. Um, Trey Young does remain in the conversation. Um, we skipped over Jokic. Does Jokic kind of fall in with Shea, where it's like the
I would put Jokic above Paolo.
yeah, I kind of agree. Where like gets a little silly at times with Jokic,
Yeah. Yeah.
where like he's clearly hunting calls from time
Yeah.
to time. We could go with Devin Booker for kind of just being the poster child of the Dwayne Wade. Um, there's got to be a better name for it. There's just the shot fake move. I don't know what to say about it.
The jump in, maybe.
Yeah, the
Maybe that's
pumping
good.
something. uh, and then we also still have guys like Denny, Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson. Um, as a Knick fan, I could also nominate Karl Anthony Towns because, like,
Maybe let's see. Who would maybe Brown next, then Brown, Denny, Booker. What do you think about that?
yeah, yeah, I kind of like it. A lot of Denny's stuff is like transition, where like he literally just puts his head down and goes to the rim hard. Um, I think I like Jalen Brown a little bit more than Denny on this, and then
Yeah.
then we go Denny, and then we have Book because unless Devin Booker's like rim numbers have increased significantly, he gets to the line a lot for somebody who doesn't get to the rim a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, he
So
shoots a lot of free throws.
yeah, I like this list. Um, I think it paints a good picture of like some dependency, how earned their attempts are compared to normal. We're weighing a lot of different things in here. Do we have a quick short list of like the next couple guys that we just at least need to shout out? I mean, we've probably already mentioned everybody.
Uh Nothing really comes to mind. What do you think? Do you have
I don't
anybody?
know. I would want to make like a disclaimer that Reeves and Jalen Brown are more like current officiating merchants rather than free
Yeah.
throw merchants.
Yeah. Put that in the caption.
Yeah, that does need to be in the caption. Otherwise, we're gonna get flamed. Um, we're- but yeah, I like this list. Harden, Boncaro, they're in there because they and Luka's pushed up compared to Shea and Jokic because there's like sneakily like they kind of need the free throws. Yeah, I think we'll basically leave it there. Next week we'll be doing something fun. We won't be doing a recap next week, but we'll have an episode coming out. Um, I don't know, maybe luckiest moments in NBA history because it'll be St. Patrick's Day or something. Um, it'll be fun. Look out for that. It'll be normal time. Should be coming out Wednesday afternoon, and we'll be seeing you guys then.